We are not doctors. Nothing in this podcast should be taken as medical advice. Consult your physician before starting any workout routine. This is the Martial Heart Podcast.
Hi. That's a kind of an abrupt transition, isn't it? I'm going to turn up my headphones just a little bit so I can hear myself. Welcome to the Martial Heart Podcast. Hello again. It's me. And I just got back from cardiac rehab a little bit ago. And wow. Okay. I said, a couple of weeks ago that I was going to try the elliptical. And I did that tonight, and boy, did it hurt. So it's a little bit, yes, hi, got it. Got that other camera working. I don't know. Each camera, for those of you who are just listening, there's two cameras, and they're both essentially set the same for their settings, but they have completely different views. They look completely different in the whatever, what it's showing. So anyway, still playing with that. But so I told the cardiac rehab people, I said, I think I'm going to try the elliptical tonight. And, oh, great. Okay. Well, we'll come over and set that up for you, because they have to come over and tell you what they want it to be set at. Like it's got to be set on this number and, this kind of whatever. All your intensity settings and all of that. Okay, so they come over and they set me up. They tell me everything that I need to know. And then I go. And I only lasted for like 10 minutes. And it was too much. I couldn't do it. It was killing my knees, first of all. I guess all the pressure from just having your leg bent all the time was very uncomfortable on my knees, and the level that they told me to maintain during the exercise it seemed like a lot, and it was a lot, and it was wearing me out. I was sweating, and I was actually working out like hard, and because like I said, I'm not a runner or anything, and so this elliptical thing was kind of mimicking as though I was running. Yeah, or jogging, I suppose, something like that, similar to running. And so I do it. I make it for about 10 minutes, and then I switch over to the treadmill, and I do my remaining 20 minutes of cardio on the treadmill. And they come over and they ask me, how was that? And I said it sucked, and that it was kicking my ass, and that it hurt. So, and then she says, you should probably use the other one, because that one's for walking, or fast walking, and light jogging stuff. You were on the one that's for running. And I'm like, this is my first time being on a thing, and you just let me get on the difficult one first try, and let me fail and feel like I was a loser. I don't know why they would do that. Just tell me, no, you should probably go get on the other one, since this is your first time ever getting on an elliptical machine. Maybe you should try that one first. I don't know. Anyway, wrong machine. Hell of a workout, though. If your knees can handle that constant pressure of just being bent and going back and forth. But yeah, good workout. I have a feeling I'm going to have difficulty walking tomorrow. But it made the treadmill at a 6% incline seem like a walk in the park. So it made me appreciate the treadmill a little bit more. And I do. And next time, I think that's all I'm going to do is the treadmill. Or I may swap over to try the other elliptical. I might give that a try. But that's how cardiac rehab went today. And something else. But I kind of felt, and I hesitate to say this, but I kind of felt like I may have overdone it. I was having a little bit of difficulty getting deep enough breaths to keep myself going very well. So Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's like remnants of the sickness from last week or whatever it was. But I was having some problems catching, getting a deep enough breath, feeling like I was breathing properly during the time on both the worse on the elliptical, but on the elliptical and on the treadmill tonight. And I didn't have that last night, so I'm not sure what was going on. But there are a lot of illnesses going around right now. Several people that we know are sick, and hopefully I don't catch that one too, because this is a little bit different one. People are running a fever and all of that with it. So I don't know if it's some other COVID strain that's going around or if it's just a common flu type thing. I don't know. But several people that we know are all sick. And I'm hoping that you're not seeing the weird things that I'm seeing on the screen because it's jumping around and it's getting jittery, like the computer is struggling to process all of this stuff. I don't know. It's a new computer. I don't know. Anyhow, I might have to make some changes around there. But anyhow, if it just shows up and it doesn't show up in the recording, it's fine. But I was like stop motion there for a little bit on the screen. You guys who don't watch the video, I don't know, you're kind of blessed, I guess. You just have to listen to me talk. You don't get to see me flailing around and, you know, twisting my head around and doing all the crazy stuff I do, talking with my hands and constantly looking away from the camera so that I can see what's happening over there elsewhere. But I don't know. I'm still experimenting with everything, and I'm still trying to get used to this amazing microphone that I have because this one is um, it's a cardioid, but it's a very like almost like a hyper cardioid. I can't say it. It's a cardioid pattern that it picks up around the microphone, and they have a hypercardioid, I guess. That's a little tighter, um, you know. So if I move away just a couple of inches away from this microphone, then I get these little spots where I'm losing it. Where like a lot of microphones, you could do this much moving around and it will still sound the same. You're not losing it. But on this one, if I start getting away from the very end of the microphone, it starts to act weird, or it'll start to lose the audio. So I'm still practicing keeping my face where it belongs because I move around all the time. I can't sit still. I can't stand still. I It's impossible for me. So having this situation where I have to sit in front of this microphone and keep my face a specific distance away from the microphone and facing this angle in order for it to pick me up properly it's a challenge for me. And as you can tell, over the weeks, I've been failing at it. So I'm working on it, or at least I'm conscious of it. I'm not sure I'm working on it. I may just be thinking about it. I don't think that equates to working on it. It's probably just me thinking about it and going, man, I really should work on that. And then I don't. That's it. So there you have it. Uh, that's how that's going to work. So tomorrow I'm off, no cardiac rehab tomorrow. So that's all good. It'll be kind of like a rest day. I have some things that we need to take care of around here at the house before winter, kind of winterization stuff. And it's supposed to get some snowflakes possibly on Thursday. It's not going to like snow in any significant amount or anything, but they said we might see some snowflakes on Thursday. Some people claimed that they saw some snowflakes today, but it was like 50 today. So I wasn't even wearing a jacket at work today, so I'm not sure how anyone could have seen snowflakes. It's not a thing that happens. So, not around here. And if it's going to snow, it's going to be cold. It has to be cold for that to happen, people. So, anyway, moving on from the weather, there's your weather update for Northeast Ohio for today. But I'm kind of looking forward to it being cooler. It hasn't really been hot. I mean, it's kind of been moderate, and mild weather for the last, I don't know, couple of months really. So it's not that big of a deal for it to be winter, but I don't know. I'm starting to appreciate the cold weather a little bit more than I used to. I'm a California boy, so I moved to the Midwest from California, where in the wintertime it might be 50. So, like the weather this morning when I left the house, that would be winter. Uh, that would be the dead of the winter. But I didn't even own a heavy coat when I moved here. And I bought one real fast because I moved here near the end of the year. And that year was one of the worst winters they had had in a very long time. And they were measuring the snowfall by the foot that year. And when they would plow the parking lots in different places, they would have 20-foot high piles of snow that they had, bulldozed to get out of the parking lot so people could actually park there. And it was amazing. And those snow mounds didn't fully melt off until far into the spring and the early summer. And that was my introduction to living in Ohio. And it was crazy town. And but it hasn't been that bad since. That was the worst winter that I've gone through in Ohio. So that was my first winter here. And all the ones after that have been milder. They used to be worse. I will say the climate change folks and all of that, the things are changing here. Whatever you want to blame it on, doesn't matter. But the winters here over the almost 30 years now that I've lived here have changed. They are not nearly as harsh, and they're not as cold, and they don't last as long, and we're not getting nearly the amount of snowfall that we used to get. It used to be a lot, and there would be several times during the winter when it would be a blizzard conditions and you just were stuck wherever you were, or you couldn't get into work that day. That was pretty common, and that doesn't really happen anymore. I think over the last, especially the last 4 or 5 years, if there was any more than 6 inches of snow on the ground at any one time, it was odd because it would snow and then it would melt off a little bit and snow and melt off. And we're not getting those giant pileups of snow that we used to get. And so, whatever's causing that, I don't know. But the winters have been progressively more mild over the last probably 10 or 12 years. And not that I really complain that it's not going to be 2 degrees and have 6 feet of snow, but it does seem odd, that it used to be worse. And when I moved here, people used to tell me that, oh, it used to be way worse than before then. And I don't know. It's just kind of weird. You get everything set up because you're expecting there to be 6 feet of snow, and then it just doesn't happen. I bought a snow blower. I had always shoveled by hand, and we had a neighbor who had a little plow, and he would come and plow our driveways for us. But he got sick and was going through cancer treatments, so I didn't have anybody plowing my driveway. And I went and bought a snow thrower, and since I bought it, I've used it twice. And when I used it, there weren't any more than 3 or 4 inches of snow on the ground. And it was just a really bad storm that lasted maybe 2 days. And it was 2 days worth of snow. And, it might have been maybe at the most 5 inches of snow. And so you go out there with your snow thrower and clear the driveway. So I've only used it twice, literally, in the last, I probably bought it 4 years ago. When it only snows an inch or two, or when there's only an inch or two on there, I don't bother plowing or blowing the driveway or anything. You just drive on it because it's pointless. You're just, I don't know. To me, it's pointless. I don't bother with it as long as it's, less than like 4 or 5 inches deep. I don't care. And all of our vehicles just drive over it easily, so it's not an issue. But when it gets up to like hub level, the hub on your tires, you kind of got to clear it out of there because now you're risking getting stuck or something like that. So, but yeah, I've only used it twice, and it works really well. If anybody's wondering, it's all electric. It's a battery powered one, which is surprising because it works great. It only runs for about 40 minutes if you have to use it. And believe me, I have a really long driveway that has a horseshoe drive in it as well. So it's a lot of snow throwing if I want to do the whole thing. And that 40-minute time, it's not enough. I have to plow some of it as much as I can and then bring it back in and charge the batteries. And the batteries have to charge for a number of hours. I have spare batteries now, so I can charge them up and put them in and all that kind of stuff. But, it takes like 3 charges to do the whole driveway if there's like 6 inches of snow on it, if I want to do the entire driveway. So I've gotten into the habit of not clearing the entire driveway, just clearing the part that I need to get out and go to work. And so that's what we do. We just kind of live with the rest of it. And, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what this winter is going to be like. Every year in the fall, they have they're predicting whatever kind of winter this year, and it's always wrong. And so I don't pay attention to any of that. I don't know what they've predicted for this year, if they're saying it's going to be bad or if it's going to be mild or whatever. I'm not sure exactly what they were trying to predict for this one. And I didn't read the Farmer's Almanac or anything like that. But winter is coming, as the TV show says. So we have to winterize some things around here and make sure that things are ready. And we'll be doing that. And then we'll see a couple of snowflakes on Thursday, and then it'll warm back up into the 50s, and we won't have to worry about it for another couple of weeks or few weeks, probably. They're just saying it's around Thanksgiving. It's not going to be snowing or anything. It'll be just raining. Rainy and cool, but not unbearable. So Thanksgiving, it's coming up, and then after that, Christmas and New Year's, and this is, I'm thinking. So if you're just listening and you're not watching the video, I'm staring up at the ceiling because I'm thinking about. Uh, I can't say that it's my favorite time of the year. I don't really think it's my favorite time of the year. I don't care that much about holidays. I never really did. I don't know why, but like Christmas and, I don't know. At some point, I just stopped really caring about those sorts of things. The only thing that's nice is getting together, getting all the family over on Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve, and then, we have dinner and stuff. And that's always nice to just get everybody together. But we kind of do that on every holiday and every birthday. We try to get everybody over here to all celebrate together. So it's not that uncommon for us to do it, but it just happens to be Thanksgiving or, Christmas or New Year's. And so that's what I really like about it. We don't decorate much. I don't go out and climb up on a ladder and put Christmas lights across the front of the house or anything like that. Allison would probably like it if I did that, but I don't have a ladder tall enough to reach that. And we've lived here for a few years now, and I have never had a ladder that could actually reach my roof. So thankfully, I haven't had to get on the roof much ever. One time, my drone got stuck up on the roof, and the neighbor had to bring his ladder over because he does roofing stuff. And he had a 40-foot ladder, and he was able to put it up the side of the house and go up and get the drone for me because my ladder it barely would reach halfway up there. So I was going to have to put my ladder on top of the roof of the porch because I could climb up the ladder and get up there, and then I would have to pick the ladder up and pull it up there with me and then put it somewhere else, and it was just a little too dangerous. So we had him come over with his ladder. But that's what I would need. I would need like a lift or something, a bucket to get me up there. It's only a 2-story building, but it's straight up. 2 stories, and there's nothing in between there really. It's just sort of a square, and so yeah, you have to have a ladder that can get all the way up there. And so I don't have any low sections of the roof to do it. I could probably pay somebody to do it, but that would be stupid, and I'm not going to do that. We have plenty of neighbors who decorate for Christmas, and we have one neighbor that decorates for every holiday, and it looks like a scene from some bad movie where you have the the excessive and gaudy neighbor who has all the bright, just ridiculous lights with flashing lights and animatronic things out there in the yard. That's them, and they do it for every holiday. So they decorate their entire yard for Easter. They decorate their entire yard for the 4th of July, for Halloween, for Thanksgiving and Christmas. And boy, do they light up the neighborhood for Christmas time. And we have 2 or 3 neighbors who do that. That's like a big thing here. Not for us. We don't go to that extent. Sometimes we have an inflatable Santa or a reindeer or a turkey or something that we stake into the front yard so that it doesn't blow away. We had an inflatable baby Yoda it may go out there. I think that was a Christmas thing. I think baby Yoda was dressed up like an elf. I don't remember. I'll have to get it out and we'll have to see. That's about the lengths that we go to for our decorations. Maybe a wreath on the front door, and that's it, because everything else just takes way too much effort. And I don't like all the light, so that's just the way it's going to stay for us. So I hope everybody's week is going well so far. Ours is doing fine. Hurt myself today, probably wore myself out. So now I'm going to go probably soak in the jacuzzi tub because I'm already starting to hurt. And I hate the elliptical, and that's not going to change, I don't think. I don't think I'm ever going to love the elliptical. But I will talk to everybody soon, and I hope everybody has a great night. Have the rest of your week. And if you don't hear from me until the weekend, take care of yourselves, eat right, exercise, get off your ass, and go get on the elliptical if you really want it to hurt. Go get on the elliptical instead of the treadmill, because that's what I did, and I hate it. But I'll be going back and doing more, because that's what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to suck. That's always been my philosophy. So it's going to suck if you want it to work. It can't be easy. So you got to make it hurt. And I'll catch everybody later. Be good. And I'm out.